And welcome back. I thought today we'd look at secret signs that are hiding in plain sight. Here's a classic one. Who's driven down the motorway and seen these? Yellowy orange signs with triangles, circles, squares and diamonds in them. Emergency nuclear war escape routes. Well, it turns out they're not. These are diversion routes if the motorway are closed, and you will be told to follow the yellow diamond or the circle. And in fact, on some slip roads, there are flip signs that reveal the symbol that you need to travel on because the motorway is closed to take you to your destination. Have you ever walked in a British city, glanced down at the Curbstone, and seen these mysterious marks? Chevrons, circles with eyes in them, crosshatches, and all kinds of symbols outside people's houses. Theories abound about these mysterious marks. Tramp or hobo symbols outside people's houses saying if they're worth robbing. Or some people believe that they are religious denomination symbols to designate who lives in that house. The answer is wonderful. Of course, it's none of those. They're called mason marks, and here's how they work. So imagine you're a stonemason carving out curbstones in a quarry, and you get paid piecemeal. So every time you produce, say, the 20th curbstone, you mark your personal mark on it, a mason mark, the eye with the circle and the dot or the Maltese cross or whatever it was, and then your boss can tally up how many curbstones you have carved and you get paid. And here in Europe we have these mysterious signs. Bridges for animals. Yeah, these are wildlife crossings. But I have this fantastic story from the Midwest. So I used to live in Wisconsin, and deer are a big problem for crashing into your car. So the DNR, or the local communities, put up deer crossing signs. The classic story is somebody phoned into the local radio station and said, "Our city's put up a deer crossing sign quite near our house, and the deer keep crossing there. It's a real hazard. Couldn't the sign be moved further down to tell the deer to cross somewhere else?" Brilliant. And who's seen these? Truck kitty litter signs. Now, they're escape lanes on hills for when your brakes fail, you go into the kitty litter. These are less popular these days, but you do see them still, and oh, it would be terrible to go into the gravel runway. And on British motorways, you often see this sign that says, "Works unit only." We all know that this really is an entrance to a secret Ministry of Defense base to store flying saucers. Well, some of them might be. I think they're more likely to store gravel and salt for winter weather, but you never know. And as we've discussed on this channel before, Britain does have a network of deep underground secret bunkers that were built during the Cold War for local government. And today, maybe they're not quite as secret as before. So I'd like to end on a personal story, as I often do. Many of the viewers will know I used to work for the dreadful BBC. They're actually not that dreadful. Maybe they're a bit more dreadful now than they used to be. Cut. Anyhow, without that political statement, when you worked really late at the BBC, you could get a taxi home. I think you had to work like after midnight and they would take you a taxi home. Now I lived in Essex, which is quite a long way. It's, you know, a good, well, this was the point, a good 50 miles from London. And that was fine. It was the maximum that they would take you. Anything more than 50 miles, I don't think you got a cab home. But I regularly used to get a cab home if I worked on a program that would be editing after midnight. Pretty long hours. But my boss told me I had to stop. Where I lived was too far away and it was costing them too much money to take me home at night. So I looked into it, and if you measured the distance from the BBC studio that I worked in West London all the way to my town in Essex, it was more than 50 miles, so he was right. But he was also wrong, because cities, how many times have you seen this? 10 miles to York, 10 miles to London. Where's London? I mean, it's a big place and it kind of goes out a long way. No, cities have a designated center point where everything is measured from. And the one in London is Charing Cross. Here it is. And I was so lucky. 50 miles from the designated marking spot, which is Charing Cross, went to my house. So I still got the cab home. Thanks for watching. There's lots of secrets out there because the truth is out there.